Welcome to the Loaded Time Pod. I'm Demi and I'm joined by Sean and Elijah.
Hello.
We're in a new environment. If you're on YouTube, now you can actually see us, which is nice. Yeah, the other flat was just like in the abyss. Like
that lighting was just...
The lighting was a problem, man.
I don't know anything about this. I'm just like, is it? Okay, cool.
I had to edit this.
Sean Taylor just sit by and talk trash the whole episode. You and I are suffering.
You talk the most, but then we do the least.
That's how they add to the thing. They just give all the noise.
Oh, we come with information though.
Yeah, it's true. You do.
Come with information.
You do.
Barely do any homework, Shah. But
still, it's all in the noggin, you know what I mean?
So we got the table out. We're trying to be professional. Know that we just moved into a new place, so it's looking a bit bare. But hashtag Loading Time Pod. If you want to join us on Twitter and Insta, well, don't really post on Instagram anymore, do we?
No, we do.
Just join us on Twitter and on YouTube. And yeah, if you have any opinions about whatever we say, and if you want to suggest to someone, subscribe, review, and all that kind of stuff. And if you enjoy it, share it with some people. In today's episode, we are going to talk about two things that happened this week. Oh, there's a lot that happened this week, though.
Lots happened, but I'm too busy moving to check.
Exactly. So the first thing that's on the list, there's actually three things on the list. The first two we're gonna give them all equal amounts of time, and the first two are kind of related. So the first one that's on everyone's mouths at the moment in nerd culture is the No Way Home trailer, the second trailer of Spiderman, No Way Home. And I just dropped, and I was two ways about watching it because I didn't want to.
I stopped watching it halfway through because I was like, Jesus Christ, there's so many spoilers in this. I had to stop.
What did you watch?
I got up to the point where Otto. So they tell Peter Parker that he has to go and send his people back to where they came from, and that. All of them
get out of my country.
And then it's in trailers anyway, so this isn't really a spoiler, I suppose. Yeah. And that is they're all destined to die.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think at that point, I just stopped watching it.
There's not that much spoilers.
I mean, that even what I've seen already, I felt like, you're giving a lot away already.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know because based on the first trailer, the other trailer they showed before, like you're like, okay, cool. So this is the premise. We have the premise. But then one thing that I know that Marvel are usually quite good anyway with their trailers that they don't give too much away. Yeah. Sometimes they give some like fake information sometimes anyway. But just watching the trailer, I was like, but watching that trailer was the reason why I stopped watching these like last trailers because they give a lot of information. Yeah. And they're given like a lot of the structure. You don't know how it's all going to lead up to it, but like even the fact that Peter Parker is going against Doctor Strange's wishes is in the trailer, and I was just like, I can't anymore, because it's giving a lot away. It looked good, and they actually did a lot. It's doing more than I thought they would do. Like I'm actually a bit surprised at how far they're taking this whole like merger thing together. I mean, even from the Venom end credits. Yeah. That thing happened in there.
Any spoilers for anything that we might talk about? If you haven't watched Venom or the Marvel films, there's going to be spoilers. So yeah,
so it looked good. Yeah. Like I'm still going to watch it. I am worried, to be honest.
We worried about it.
It's a lot. Like there's a lot they're doing in there. Like they're doing a lot.
And every time they do that with the Spider-Man film, it's always a bad thing.
Well, if there be anything, it's usually a bad thing. Yeah. Usually,
it feels like fan fiction. I can't remember.
Yeah, it feels like a lot. It feels like they've basically just got a barrel of hype and they're just pouring it on top of this movie. Because I'm just like, because I was talking to my work colleague about it. And I was like, they're not going to show other Spider-Man. I mean, you probably aren't even going to see that much of the other enemies from this thing. They're just like teasing it. We don't know how much of even Octavius is going to be even in this movie. And then you watch the trailer and you're like,
he's got a significant part.
Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, there's actually fucking loads. And then the things that's happening from like the Venom ending, extra credit stuff, I'm like, okay, they're doing something. They're doing something that I didn't think they would do.
So, are you gonna watch Venom 2? I haven't watched any of the Venoms.
I haven't seen the first one.
No, I don't care about Venom. I'll probably just watch the post credits just to see.
I went on YouTube. I just watched the post credits. I cannot be bothered with Venom because like Sony has really just the best thing they've done recently has been Into the Spider-Verse.
That's like the best Spider-Man film. That was amazing.
But like anything else, I'm not interested. At the moment I saw the Venom trailer first, the first one, I was just like, I don't want to watch this. And I never
watched
wanted
the
to
first
watch
one.
it.
Yeah.
And you said it was bad.
And it's just, I didn't like how they portrayed the character. Personally, I didn't like how they portrayed the character. Like, when I'm on Instagram, people are like drawing little versions of it, and they're portraying Venom as like something that he isn't. He's not how, he has this little thing that comes out and talks to him. Yeah, and I'm like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works at all.
It feels like that's the symbiote, that's Eddie Brock, whereas Eddie Brock is the...
It's almost like you're not even aware that you have this thing inside you, you know, like in the Spider-Man 3, was probably a better version of him, of Peter Parker being having Venom symbiote, because he's just like, he doesn't even know that it's there's another personality inside his head, right? Whereas in the movie, they split them off and they make Venom this goofy thing, right? And because they hit that comedy factor because they know it works, and they're just taking this character. He's actually a very, very dark character in the Spider-Man universe, and they made him kind of like goofy in a way.
Yeah, I've always thought he was good. Maybe because I played the original Spider-Man game on PS1. Because Venom, Spider-Man 1.
It's the Maximum Carnage, is it?
It has Carnage.
Nintendo.
No, not that one. The PS1 one with Tego knows about it, where like you can't web swing, you can't go down because you die. Yeah. That was actually
the way they did that
it was just a fog, so you can't actually go down because they didn't have the technical they didn't have the processing power to actually go down and move around and stuff.
So the floor is lava, basically.
But they made it into law. It was hilarious. But yeah, even Venom then, he ended up being goofy later on during the game. But like you see him and he's like, you feel like Eddie Brock is Venom.
Right.
You know, it's like, there's like, even the way he talks, so we know, like, you know, it's me.
Yeah. So what would say, like with the end credits thing, you don't care if I tell you about it?
No, I don't care. Cool.
So the end credits for Venom 2 is that basically he's chilling in a room and he's talking to the symbiote, and the symbiote is talking about how like the symbiotes come from different galaxies and universes and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Then the room just like goes all fuzzy, and then he ends up in a different room, and he's like, what just happened? Basically, he's like, he got teleported. And then the TV's on, and then he looks at the TV, and there's the MCU Peter Parker on the TV being revealed, but, you know, the whole Mysterio thing.
Yeah.
And then it looked like the Venom symbiote recognized him, kind of. And then the end credits.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like they basically brought him into the MCU.
Yeah.
Basically, like maybe they're doing a Spider-Verse thing where, you know, all this thing. So that's what it looks like. And there's a lot of people they make these trailers because they want people to speculate and to be doing their theories. And these people have some wild ass theories.
So just to go back on what you said that the Venom symbiote recognized Peter Parker.
It looks that way, yeah. He was like, oh,
almost
him. Or saying like this guy or whatever.
But then in the trailer, you remember what happens in the trailer of Octavius when he sees...
He says,
he says, you're not Peter.
Yeah, so it's a bit like...
that sounds like a plot. Anyway.
So it's well, the trailer was pretty cool.
It's nice, but
you know, but again, it looks like there's a lot going on. So
100% they're gonna bring the Spider-Man from a different.
It'll be a waste.
I don't know if it'll bring both of them. I feel like they will.
Because allegedly Andrew Garfield was on set in one of these ones as well.
Okay.
Now
I just don't know how it's
denying it like crazy.
I just don't know how it's going to work.
If you're gonna bring the villains, how are you not gonna bring?
I know. Yeah, which is why I was like,
well, it might be epic.
It might be good.
If it's done right, it'll be good. Yeah, but like my main concern is that not everyone. I don't think everyone's watched every single iteration of Spider-Man, because you have the Tobey Maguire one, the Andrew Garfield one. There's people that have only watched the MCU one, and they'll be like,
"Fuck are these people?"
You know, so they don't really. For us who have been watching it for a long time, we have the context of who the bad guys are and stuff like that, the Green Goblin and stuff. But a lot of people are not going to have that context, I feel. So I feel like it's probably not going to be... I feel like it's not going to be completely on about this multiverse thing for some reason. I feel like they're actually going to do something about it, and then something else is going to happen.
Why are they merging worlds, man?
It doesn't feel. It feels like it should be a much more steady thing.
I can see why people were upset in it. You know, FF7 remake. There was a thing that happens when they've merged two universe. Like you know what it is, isn't it? There's Shinra stuff in it. Yeah. And no, not that one. There's another one. It's a bit of a spoiler.
I'll go watch it.
It's an FF7 remake spoiler.
Okay.
They're basically
when they're walking on the road.
No. There's when you're in the Shinra Corporation, you see a picture, but it links certain worlds.
Oh,
because you know that they've never linked an FF's. Like for example, FF6 is not the same as.
Oh,
they're not there, but they pretty much confirmed that that's a link. But it was a bit of a like maybe, but they pretty much said that there's a link between one of the worlds, and people were like, no, that's not how Final Fantasy should be.
So what happens when you give the Kingdom Hearts person the keys to
it's a little minor where it was like, well, when it says when some people saw that like, why are you linking worlds and why are you linking worlds with Spider-Man? It was never meant to be like that. You know, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man supposed to, Andrew Garfield's supposed to be a reboot of Spider-Man, a complete reboot. Tom Holland's Spider-Man supposed to be a complete reboot of the other two. Why are you suddenly?
You could argue.
You could argue because it is canon.
It's canon that there's a whole Spider-Verse thing, and Spider-Man has always been even in the 90s cartoon, it was linked to different universes, and there was a Spider-Verse in that one where they had Spider Octopus, Spider Carnage.
There's a Spider-Man that isn't actually even a Spider-Man. He's just a guy who's just an actor.
He's just an actor.
And he gets pulled into the thing as well. And he's like, I'm literally just a guy that wears a suit. So
that was quite fun actually.
Was that a cartoon or was that the comic? I mean, they've done it in the comics as well. They've done it in loads of things. So I'm not against the idea of them adding, the other Spider-Man in. I just don't know how they're going to like do this and then rectify it in a movie that's like 3 hours. And make it good.
But you know they're going to bring Miles Morales in it.
If they do...
I have a feeling that's going to be in a post-credit scene.
Maybe.
If they bring in like different bad guys in, they need people to fight those bad guys too.
It can't just be Tom Holland Spider-Man.
I mean, you don't know.
And then Doctor Strange is too powerful to fight these street-level goons. So him that kind of like... he's
just trying to fix stuff.
Out the picture.
He's just probably trying to fix stuff, right? So there's a part in the trailer that says... Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but the part in the trailer says the Spider-Man's like, you don't have to do this, we can find another way. And he's saying that, no, we can't.
They have to die.
Yeah, basically, right, okay.
That's what the trailer makes it seem like. Like, we don't know. I don't really trust trailers anymore because ever since they put Hulk in like Infinity War running with everyone, and then he wasn't even in most of the film. Remember in the trailer, they're all running together. Infinity War, and Hulk is running there too.
I think I saw the trailer.
And then in the actual film, he's just sleeping for the whole film. He gets punched in the face a few times, and he's like, "Bundus."
You guys handled it.
Yeah, done.
So So there's a lot of speculation and stuff, but people are going a bit far again with all these theories. I think theories are just nonsense, but like people are just like, different universes, bring X-Men in.
Oh my god, they're going to bring X-Men in.
This is what she can do in 3 hours.
It's just a Spider-Man film, bro.
Yeah.
Why are they going to bring X-Men in?
It makes no sense to bring them in.
Nonsense, I swear.
Absolutely
relax. Bring X-Men in. It's
a
completely different franchise. Like,
I know. People, it's too soon. It's too soon, man. And I would hate for the X-Men to be brought in from another universe. That would really annoy me.
Yeah,
because I'll be like, that's just lazy.
Cheap.
But I don't know how they. Anyway, we've discussed this in the previous episodes. For people that know, just look back at. I think it was the Eternals preview, whatever. But how are they gonna bring them in? I don't. With the snap, I don't know how they're gonna do it.
To be honest, I'd much rather make a half-assed explanation than say they came from the Sony universe or whatever.
Like you want the worst version of the X-Men to be in the
Sony ones.
Come on, Feige can do better.
That's why for this thing, I'm like. Right, you're bringing in all these people these enemies from a different universe, right? And I just think it's if they maintain them in this movie, I do feel like it's kind of lazy Although I guess it allows them to speed up the story arc. They don't have to introduce all these new enemies all over again. Because Sinister Six, you can't. Well, you can, but I probably shouldn't do that. There have been different versions of Sinister Six, I'm sure, where you can't really like go. You can't make Sinister Six without introducing all these characters, and you can't suddenly just go, oh, here's a movie of Spider-Man here, and here's these recast versions of these enemies that you have no idea who the fuck they are. They have to like slow them surely. But they've already shown Vulture. They've showed Shocker. You know, so they haven't shown Lizard, Dr. Octopus, and the rest of them yet.
Well, they could have still done it because they had flipping. They could have done the Sinister Six without having to do this universe thing.
Yeah.
Because
but didn't they do them in the prison? When they in the prison, or not really?
In the prison, yes, because there was Scorpion, there was Vulture, there was Shocker, of course. Then there's
Mysterio.
Mysterio,
who's dead.
Who's dead. But
then again, Doc Ock, they're old.
But then so that means you just have to fill 2 spaces. It's not that hard to fill 2 spaces. I would have liked to see Craven.
Craven would have been
I think that would have been very good because it's like, he's being revealed as Spider-Man and Craven is hunting him.
Yeah.
I felt like that would have been a very good film.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very missed opportunity. Meanwhile, Sony wants to make a Craven film that no one's asking for.
Yeah.
So